There are some clear signals of the type of school that you want to avoid. First, how does the school smell? Is it clean or stuffy and musky? Martial arts is up close and has a lot of contact. There is no sense of personal space in martial arts. If the studio is not kept clean, if the students are not clean, it can be a germ haven and can make you sick. Any school that calls itself a black belt school is just looking to sell belts. These types of schools are also called McDojos or belt factories. These places do you a disservice and put you at risk. The training is subpar and they rush you through the curriculum in order to keep you interested in staying to collect monthly membership dues and testing fees. In the end, you're left with a false sense of confidence that is going to get you into a lot of trouble. A good test for this type of school is to ask how long the average person takes to get to a black belt, training 3 days a week. If they tell you proudly that it only takes their exceptional students 2 years to make black belt, you're in a belt factory. A quality school takes a minimum of 4 years to develop a black belt, and that's if the person is really motivated and diligent. Normal time to black belt is 5 or even 6 years. 2 years is just plain ridiculous. Now, this next part I say from personal experience as a former tournament competitor with years of competition across the entire southwestern United States. If you want self-defense training, do not go to a tournament school. The reason is simple. Winning tournaments is no indicator of being able to defend yourself on the street. The average street thug will wipe the floor with the average tournament competitor. The rules, the mindset, and the training for competition are antithetical to actual street fighting. Competition is about speed and first touch. There are set rules and often no head contact is allowed. There are no rules on the street and contact doesn't mean anything unless you can incapacitate your opponent with a blow. Tournaments are polite, the street is ruthless. Now again, I'm not against tournaments. In fact, I think there are fantastic training devices. Episode 28 of my podcast, Practical Defense, has a 40-minute discussion on why you should supplement your training by going and competing in tournaments. But that's the key. Tournaments should supplement your self-defense training, not the other way around. If your school focuses on competition, you are missing key components of self-defense and the mentality of defensive training. But if you want to focus on competition, a school devoted to that goal is perfect. For my years on the tournament circuit, I had a special coach just for tournament sparring. I loved the competition and have great memories of my time doing it. So here's a gross example. If you want to fight in the MMA, you don't go to a Tai Chi instructor. You go to an MMA school, right? So why would you go to a tournament school if you want to learn self-defense? The principle is the same. Tournament schools are usually pretty easy to spot. As soon as you walk in the door, the walls and shelves will be filled with trophies and plaques. And often the head instructor will use all of the wins as a selling point during his or her sales pitch. The most important aspect of your training is the instructor. The style of martial art is secondary to the instructor. And the school is a reflection of the personality of the instructor. So important questions you need to ask are, can you learn from this person? How does this person make you feel? Does the instructor creep you out? How does the instructor treat students? How do the students treat the instructor? All of these can be clues into the type of instruction that are totally separate from the style. The exact same martial art, the exact same material can be presented in very different ways. You need to find not only a style of martial art that works for you, but an instructor in that style that you can learn from. Some people are drawn to a very formal, rigid program, while others prefer a relaxed atmosphere. Some people respond to a gentle hand, while others need a more firm approach to correction. You need to go with what works for you. I said earlier that every martial art can teach the basics of self-defense. That's true because of the way the instructor interprets the material. Some instructors just teach material. Others teach the material while putting it into context of self-defense. Same style, same techniques, different application. In the same way, some people click with certain instructors more than others. Not everyone likes my teaching style. I'm certain there are quite a few people who've already turned off this presentation because they thought I was boring or they disagreed with what I was saying. I'm not offended. I do my best, and I know that I just can't reach everyone, but I still try. But that's the beauty of martial arts. There is someone out there that is your perfect instructor. Look beyond the specific martial art. People will tell you, forget that karate stuff. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu beats everything out there. Have no idea what they're talking about, or at best, just a narrow experience. Find an instructor that you connect with, and it will open up a lifelong experience that you will treasure. There are certain characteristics you should avoid in an instructor. If for any reason you feel uneasy with the instructor, if his or her touch makes you feel uncomfortable, leave and don't look back. Martial arts is a contact exercise, and there's a lot of touching. If you don't like him touching you, don't train there. Teachers that have a huge ego should be avoided. Instruction from these types of people tend to be about them looking good and not increasing your ability. Classes should be focused on you learning and growing. The worst type of instructor is never wrong, can never be hit, and never makes an error. They are constantly trying to impress their students with their ability. They're like children, and if they ever get challenged, they'll throw a temper tantrum and will often kick the student out of the class or even the school. In the worst cases, I've even seen these jackasses hurt their students as a punishment. Another indicator that the instructor should be avoided is if he or she is focused on rank. You know the type. Hi, my name is Jack Ass. I'm a 3rd Dan. You can call me Mr. Ass. This type feels that he or she should be respected and followed simply because of the color of the belt around his or her waist. The rank of black belt simply means that you have demonstrated a minimum level of proficiency in the basics of the art. It is not an indicator of mastery. It is not an indicator that you're a good instructor. It merely shows that you have graduated.